chapter 7. Hic, take it as here, either by the invidia deum, by the envy of the gods, or by fate, this very rapid, extreme rapidness of the pro-Corinthian imperium, of this running forwards of the state or empire, the cursus is just again the travelling part of it, for a little while, Parompa was suppressed. So this very rapid speeding course of the empire was suppressed by an incursion of the Synonum Gallorums, which would be Synonum Gauls, either by fate or the envy of the gods. Quod tempus, the neuter, this time to the Roman people, or by the Roman people, nescio, I don't know, utrum whether, clade a disaster, it should be a funestius, so it's bringing death or funerals, or if it's a speciosius, a bit outstanding, of its experiments of virtue, or its test of virtue. So at this time, for the Roman people, it was either very a deadly time with disasters, or was a bit showy because of the amount of virtue displayed. Ia curte, something female, looks like, certainly was, okay, vis force. The force of this calamity certainly was such that looks like these forces brought in, putem I think, this force was brought in as an experiment, as a test. Here's an adverb, divinitas, from the heavens, from the divine, from the gods, to know, volentibus immortalibus deus, basically to know, looks like the will of the immortal gods. They wanted to know whether Roman virtue, Romana is the adjective, if Roman virtue merited, if it merited or deserved the imperium orbis, the power over the earth, or something like that. The Galli Senones, the Gallic Senones, a ferox gens, a ferocious gens, or type of people by nature, and in their moribussus, in their ways they were unrefined, they were incondita, and we got ad hoc. And to add to this, itself, mole corpum, so they had a big mass of their bodies, so must be large or something. Perinde, so that just as they had ingentibus arms. I don't know if this is weapons, that just might literally be arms, because they had big bodies, big arms, and to such an extent that terribilis, they were terrible, all these genera in all types of ways. Adio ut, to such an extent that plane, clearly, this gens was nata, born to interitum of hominums. It looks like to terrify all types of men, and it seemed, here we go, and the stragen, the destruction of cities. So we've got two genitives there, of hominums and of urbium. Hi, it means these people, quondam, once upon a time, from the ultimate Orus, from the ultimate shores of the terrarum, of the land, of the world. What do we got? And Cingente ocean, and the ocean which circles everything. They perfecti, they set out with an ingenti agmon, with a huge column of military men, and when they had vast descent, when they had devastated, I want to say, or laid waste to all the middle ground somewhere, I don't think that's a good place for a full stop. Looks like they positist their sedibus, so the seats where they were living was placed into the Alps and the Po. The paddle would be the we have no quidam. So not even content with this, they vagabonded, they strayed or wandered about per Italiam. It just means through Italy. Then they obsidibanted, they besieged the Urbem Clusium, a city called Clusium. Pro Socius, for their allies, and Federatus, the treaties, which we get federations come from. Federation comes from people coming together making treaties. Romanus, looks like Roman people, it's in the singular here. Rome intervened. It's a group of people using a singular. And legates, embassies were missi sent according to mores, according to custom. Yeah. Said quod ius is a neuter, so it's not, they didn't send what soup, this is justice or rights. Would there be apud barbarians? So what sort of justice would barbarians have? Rather ferociously, they agunted, conducted themselves, and then there was a tournament, a contest, looks like a battle. Conversus, what's that go with? So the coming people, these agmines, these columns, turned, therefore then, away from Clusio, and we have Rome in the accusative, so it must be going to Rome. That's spelled wrong, to the Flume and Allium, some type of river, with an army. Fabius the consul accurated to them. He ran into them. He ran into these. I thought that was a ablative absolute. Occur usually takes a dative or something. Anyway, this consul met them. Non temere. Temere by itself means rashness, but when it's with non, it's like non cito means not easily, and non temere means not easily. So not easier was there a clades a disaster more fouler. And so, hunk damn, this day, it was condemned, or was a bad point in the Fastus Roma. Fastus is their calendar or their annals. Fuso exercitu, with the army routed, now they pro-prinquabanted. They approached or came near to the Monibus Urbis, the walls of the city. There was nulla presidia there. There was no garrison or protection. So then, therefore, as never alius appirueted, as never another time as it appeared, was true Virtus, that's all female, Romana. Virtus is a third declension female. So yam now, primum, looks like the first time, the males, those elder, sometimes male can mean larger, but when you got natu it means by birth, so those elder by birth, who had most amplissimus use or enjoyed their honours, so very ample in honours, they came together in the forum. Ibi there, with the pontifex having devoted something, they consecrated to the Manibus Deus, the underworld gods or something like that it means, and immediately, quizque, each one, usually singular, we've got regresso, which is plural there, each one returned into suos aids, so it's plural there. So it was that in their trabias, that's their robes of in their amplissimo culto. So each one was in his senator's robe or whatever other honours they had up here, and very amplissimo cultu. Cultu is also clothing as well. They replaced themselves in their curule seats, so that when the hostis venicited, when the enemy came, again each one would die in his dignity, in his honours, or all dressed up and looking special. The pontifices and the flamines, in neuter form it's a blast to win, when it's male it's a priest. The most whatever was most religious or holy in the temples erat. Part they reconducted, they hid away in the terror in the ground which was defossed, dug in Dolius, he's a vat or something, and another part there and part here, were imposited, it means they were put into wagons and they all ferreted them with themselves. They took them away, and there's a capital letter there. Okay, so an accusative means they're going there. Here's a dolium, a jar, barrel or drum, and what we saw was plural. It's also in astronomy an igneous meteor. So, same time, Simul, the virgins from the Sacerdotia, the priesthood of Vesta, with naked feet, accommodated, they accompanied the Fugentia, the sacred ferment Fugentia. These are sacred things which were fleeing away. Nevertheless, or yet, or whatever, what do we got? One from the plebs, Furtor, it is said, received, here's his name, Albinus, he received something with the Fugentings. Those people, he deposited his wife and his children, and he received these virgins in his wagon. Okay, so he's helped these people who were fleeing away. Adiotung, another absolutely, or to such an extent, then also in the ultimate religion, looks like public religion, anti-cell preceded or took a preference to private affectations, and Vero, you can take that as indeed or but a group of young men whom constat, impersonal, it's been agreed satisfactorily, scarcely 1,000 of men it was, with their duke, with their leader or general Manlio, insedited. They settled in the Archem, that's a bit of a stronghold on the Capitoline Mont. What have we got? Obtestata, so these group of Juventus, which is female, have obtested or they've begged himself as if Jove was present. Jove is Jupiter. So they've begged something, and we've got a quote here. Whom to modum ipsi to defendum templum concurrent. So they're basically saying, tutorus. Okay. So basically they're telling Jove that they're here to defend his temple, and that looks like they want the Numen, it's God, the god Iorum, the god of them, to also defend it. So I don't know, they're probably lying, but anyway. So that's it for the day. So interim, meanwhile, the Gauls, the Galli, were adherent. They were at hand, and the open city. At first, they were trepidatious, lest there should be some dolus, some trick subesset, subsum be there. But soon, when they saw the solitude, with an equal, a par amount of clamour, shouting and impetus, they invaded. So then they went in.